Yeah, we have a beautiful day ahead and a nice warm stretch of weather settling in across the Bay Area. I want to take you into the upper levels of the atmosphere. We have this strong ridge of high pressure that has been dominating the last 24 hours or so, and it's going to continue to do so through the extended forecast all the way through the weekend. We might not see our next front that could cool us off until maybe late next week. You can see that dip in the jet stream maybe by next Friday, but we have a long way to go and a long stretch of much welcomed warm weather. A live look outside. Gorgeous start to the morning. Of course, we were watching that total lunar eclipse throughout the morning. Now the sun has come up. That's kind of washed it out for us, but hopefully you got to see a peek of it. 64 in Tampa, 65 in St. Pete, 63 in Clearwater. Lots of people out there probably trying to get a look at that blood moon this morning. That's a good spot to set up for it. Satellite and radar will show you a few showers out off the Atlantic coast near the Palm Beaches, the Hobe Sound area, and a few of those could make it into southern Highlands County. We'll be tracking that for you, but overall, the morning should stay mostly dry. Here's a look at futurecast. We have this front to our north, and we have this east-southeasterly wind pumping in underneath it. So a very warm day and increasing humidity expected each day this week. Let's take you through futurecast again. Maybe a stray shower could move in from east to west over the next couple of hours. We'll mainly look east of I-75 for an isolated shower today. Can't completely rule out one making it over to our coast, though, just in time for that evening commute. Tomorrow morning, maybe some patchy fog. And then tomorrow, again, as that humidity continues to increase, I think we'll have a slightly higher coverage of rain tomorrow. Spotty showers possible for the afternoon and into the evening. So each day this week, your afternoon and evening commute could be impacted by a few showers, maybe even some heavier downpours, especially Thursday as that moisture content really ramps up. I do think we'll have our highest coverage of rain on Thursday, including that potential for some heavier downpours. Look just around 3 o'clock. So make sure to send the kids to school with the umbrella or the raincoat on Thursday, just in case, because it does look like, again, Thursday will be the wettest day. But we'll have at least a low-end chance for rain each afternoon. We're setting up into almost a summer-like pattern with that easterly wind pumping in lots of moisture. Pair that with the heat of the day, you're going to get those showers and thunderstorms each afternoon, which is good news in terms of our forecast rainfall. We could pick up maybe about a quarter of an inch of rain in some spots. I do think some places where you get some isolated heavier downpours could pick up maybe over a half an inch of rain by the time it's all said and done. Highs today in the mid-80s, nice and warm day for you. And each day this week, we'll have highs in the mid to maybe even upper 80s, closer to 90 degrees Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And with the humidity spiking over the weekend, it will feel more like the 90s. Make sure you're drinking plenty of water if you have any outdoor activities, especially back half of the week. Rain forecast shows light chop on the bay, seas 1 to 2 feet, staying warm with daily rain chances on that 7-day forecast. We're back after the break.
Meteorologist Courteney Jacobazzi.
Busy Tuesday morning commute. Not a morning to be late, it sounds like. All right, everyone. Beautiful weather today for the most part. Another nice and warm day, and that's going to be part of our weather story for the extended forecast as this strong ridge of high pressure dominates over the southeast. It doesn't look like we don't watch for maybe our next slight cool down until late next week when another frontal system moves across the southeast. But we'll worry about that when it comes. It doesn't look like we have any more significant cool downs on the way. This morning, we are watching a few showers that are trying to move in from the Atlantic coast. Looks like maybe in southern Highlands County, just a couple of light showers. And that's what we're going to watch for today. Some showers to march from east to west across the coast, mainly landing inland today. That rain coverage only at about 10%. High pressure is going to give us that east-southeasterly wind. That's going to pump in that warm air mass, but it's also going to increase our humidity day by day, unfortunately. Very summer-like setting up across the Bay Area. So here it is around late morning, 9 o'clock or so. A few isolated showers could move mainly east of I-75, and that's really where we're going to look through the afternoon. Here's a look just after 1 o'clock. A few spotty showers throughout Polk County, Highlands County. Now, some may move into our coastal areas along and west of I-75 just in time for that evening commute around 4 o'clock, but generally we're looking inland for our best chance for rain today. Overnight tonight, a few clouds will build. Some patchy fog also possible. And then tomorrow afternoon, we'll look ahead to about a 20% coverage of a few spotty afternoon showers. Some of those could make it into Highlands and Pinellas, down into Manatee and Sarasota counties as well. So slightly more scattered coverage of showers tomorrow. Wouldn't be a bad idea to send the kiddos to school with maybe the raincoat the next couple of days, especially if they have to hop on the bus when they're walking over to the bus stop. They just might get wet. So good idea to maybe send them to school with that just in case. And then Thursday, our humidity really starts to spike. So not only are we looking at a slightly higher coverage of rain and storms on Thursday, but maybe even some slightly heavier downpours possible on Thursday. Here's a look at our expected rainfall. Low end chance for rain about 20 to 30% all the way through the weekend. So again, a very summer-like setup with those afternoon pop-up showers and thunderstorms each day. We could pick up anywhere between about a tenth to a quarter of an inch of rain, maybe some locally heavy amounts possible as well. This is struggling to load here, but in some of those heavier downpours, maybe some spots could pick up maybe half an inch of rain by the time it's all said and done by the end of the week with those daily chances for rain. Here's a look at high temperatures today. Of course, very warm, low to mid 80s expected today. We tied record heat yesterday. I think we could do that again in Tampa today. The record high for today, March 3rd in Tampa, 85. And take a look, our high temperatures staying in the mid to upper 80s. We could approach 90 degrees Friday, Saturday, maybe even into Sunday. And with that humidity spiking, I do think it is going to feel more like the 90s. Here's a look at that humidity trend. Dew points in the low 60s, which isn't necessarily super comfortable, but it's not half bad. Mid to upper 60s back half the week. Closer you get to 70, the more uncomfortable it feels. So I do think back half the week it is going to feel pretty hot and humid out there. If the kids have after school activities or you just have any weekend plans, definitely a good idea to make sure you're drinking plenty of water. Make sure all the kids are staying hydrated if they're doing any kind of after-school sports activities back half of the week. Rain forecast shows light chop on the bay, seas 1 to 2 feet. That Gulf temperature also on the slow climb. 7-day shows mid to upper 80s. All 7-day long. Mornings stay mild in the 60s with those daily chances for afternoon spotty thunderstorms.
All right, thank you, Courtney. A heads up for drivers.